And we have a go for auto sequence start. T-minus 17 seconds and countdown. All systems are go. Start. 2, 1. Booster ignition and liftoff.
It's time to charge up with Victor Pisano.
Hey everybody, it's Victor Pisano and welcome to another edition of the Power Cast from Charge Up. Today I want to focus on the great leaders. Specifically, I want to talk about the true rewards of effective leadership. This podcast is for everybody, not just the experienced leader, but there's a lot to learn here if you're aspiring to be a leader. So just stay with me on this one. So let's start off with a fact. This is crazy. Did you know there are over 462 variations regarding the definition of leadership on Google? 462 variations. But in reality, there's just one definition. How can you talk about something that can be so rewarding when it's so difficult to simply define what it is? I'm going to tell you why. It's proof that leadership is always evolving. We talk about it all the time in our content. Change is inevitable, right? Especially in a leadership role. You're either going to adapt or you're going to be extinct. Winston Churchill said it best in this simple quote: "Character may be manifested in the great moments, but it's made in the small ones." From experience, I can tell you that being a successful leader, one with true character, as well as an unselfish being about him, the rewards of leadership fall within the small wins. And I'm not talking about your small wins as a leader. That's not how a leader with passion thinks. When I talk about the small wins, I'm referring to those of others that you've empowered to be bold and courageous. It's elevating others and put them in a position to succeed. That's your fuel. That's your drive. That's your true passion. Honestly, for an effective leader, the rewards are intangible, but they're priceless. Look, I'm not going to be a Pollyanna about leadership on every podcast or blog and just tell you the good. Being an effective and respected leader is extremely demanding. It's stressful and the expectations are high. But think about it. Isn't that why you chose this path? You obviously have the ability to see the big picture. More importantly, you have the gift to inspire and lead others to see that same big picture. That's why I want to make it clear. My examples have keywords in how I describe the leader in this podcast, and I want you to recognize them. I use words like effective, respected, trusted, and gifted. And I'm not talking about a macro level of leadership. I need you to go micro for me to understand this one. If you're an ineffective leader as a result of an outdated leadership style, or for most, simply refusing to be more self-aware and compassionate, then most likely you're not going to experience any of these rewards we're talking about. On the other hand, a gifted leader who's committed and, more importantly, completely vested in their mission and their people in being an influencer. And they do it based off a solid foundation of respect, compassion, gratitude, integrity, and an open dialogue. I firmly believe for those that are effective leaders, it's their life calling. It's their oxygen to survive. They know the difference between being a boss as opposed to being a leader. I know it's cliche, but it's so true. Leaders coach. They don't demand. Leaders say we, they don't say I. Leaders develop people. They don't use people. Leaders give credit. They don't take the credit. Constantly lead with character, integrity, self-awareness, honesty, respect, and humility. And more importantly, they refuse to abandon those core principles, even if it's for personal gain. They're not willing to sacrifice anything for the short-term win because they're in it for the long-term stability and success. Leaders don't create more followers, they create more leaders. Leadership, and again, I'm going to talk about true leadership, has become a lost art. Leaders don't lead us to a specific place, but instead they're going to lead us to a different kind of destination. They lead you to discover a better you, a more confident you, a more determined you. The true meaning and rewards of leadership will be a result of how you lead. It's inevitable. Your team will look up to you and they're going to remember how you led them. As you empower them and they move ahead in their own careers, they're going to recall the qualities of your leadership, and they're going to apply them to the way they lead their own teams. For so many successful leaders, this is what leadership is all about. Knowing that the people you once led now have their own team to lead with you as their inspiration. So always be aware and be dedicated to displaying your best you and create an inspiring definition of what it means to be an effective leader. To all the great leaders out there, take a moment to recognize the unselfishness and commitment you've made, because there's somebody out there making a difference because of you. That is the true reward of leadership. So remember, leadership is a privilege. Thank you for taking the time to listen. We appreciate it. Be sure and go check out more of our Charge Up content. We've got you covered all over social media. And visit us at chargeuptoday.com. You can learn more about all the platforms we offer, as well as subscribe to the weekly newsletter, The Wire, delivered to your inbox every week. On behalf of all of us at Charge Up, we sincerely thank you for your support and for listening to this edition of the PowerCast. As always, I'm humbled to lead. Have a great week. And don't forget, my friends, charge up.
Roger, we'll stop. That was a picture-perfect end to a top-fuel mission. Everybody, welcome back to Earth.
Thanks for listening to Charge Up with Victor Pisano. Subscribe to the podcast at chargeuptoday.com.